Imagine walking into the world's most secure diamond vault and walking out with 100 million in stones, without a single shot fired. How did a team of thieves pull off one of the most audacious heists in history, right under the noses of the police and security experts? Today, we're diving inside the Antwerp Diamond Heist, uncovering the shocking details, clever tricks, and the aftermath that left the world stunned. Antwerp, Belgium, has long been hailed as the diamond capital of the world. In the heart of the city lies the Antwerp Diamond Center, a fortress of glittering wealth, a place where some of the rarest and most valuable diamonds are stored. For anyone outside its walls, it's a symbol of prestige, money, and opportunity. For a team of cunning thieves, it was the ultimate target. But breaking into this vault wasn't just about luck. It required intelligence, precision, and audacity on a level that most people can only imagine. The Diamond Center was designed to be nearly impenetrable. Multiple layers of security guarded its treasures. Reinforced doors, motion sensors, CCTV cameras, and armed guards patrolling the corridors. Every access point was monitored, every vault meticulously locked. Yet, like any fortress, it wasn't entirely impervious to human cunning. To outsiders, these measures might seem sufficient, even intimidating. But to the right minds, they represented a challenge, an intricate puzzle waiting to be solved. The temptation was colossal. Inside the vaults were diamonds worth more than 100 million, each stone a masterpiece of nature, cut and polished to perfection. These weren't just ordinary jewels, they were investments, symbols of status, and, for the uninitiated, untouchable treasures. The sheer scale of the potential haul created an irresistible lure, drawing in a team of thieves who weren't merely desperate, but methodical. To understand how the heist became possible, we need to appreciate both the human and structural elements of security. Guards, alarm systems, and surveillance cameras were only part of the equation. The true weakness lay in predictability. Human routines, office schedules, and even minor oversights offered windows of opportunity. The thieves knew this, and they planned to exploit every single one. The audacity of targeting the Diamond Center also highlights the psychology of high-stakes crime. The lure of unimaginable wealth can push people to meticulously orchestrate crimes that seem impossible from the outside. In the months leading up to the heist, the thieves weren't rushing. They were observing, learning, and mapping the fortress in a way that only insiders could understand. Every camera angle, every guard rotation, every entry point became data. What seemed like a perfect security system to the public was, in their eyes, a solvable puzzle. In the next part, we'll dive into who these thieves were, how a group of highly skilled individuals, each with their unique expertise, came together to turn a near-impossible dream into a reality. From safecrackers to planners, each member played a crucial role in what would become one of the most audacious heists of the 20th century. Every legendary heist starts with a team, and the Antwerp Diamond Heist was no exception. The men behind this audacious crime weren't desperate criminals hoping for a quick score. They were a highly skilled group of professionals, each bringing expertise that would make the seemingly impossible a reality. Understanding who they were is key to understanding how the heist unfolded. At the core was a mastermind, someone capable of orchestrating every detail with precision. He wasn't just bold, he was meticulous, studying the Diamond Center for months, learning its rhythms, and mapping its vulnerabilities. Around him were specialists. A safecracker who could manipulate locks with unmatched skill, an electronics expert who could disable alarms without triggering a single sensor, and a logistics brain who coordinated the timing, routes, and getaway. Each member had a defined role, and each role was executed flawlessly. What set them apart was not just talent but preparation. Unlike most criminals who rely on brute force or luck, this team relied on intelligence gathering. They didn't just study public information. They surveilled the building, memorized guard schedules, and observed patterns that outsiders wouldn't even notice. A guard who paused for a cigarette at the same time every night, a security camera blind spot behind a trash bin, or a rarely used service door. All these tiny details became critical pieces of the puzzle. The psychology of the team also played a role. Every member trusted the others implicitly. There was no room for hesitation or ego. Each person had a stake in the success, and each knew that any misstep could lead to disaster. This trust allowed them to plan a heist that wasn't just precise, it was audacious. They weren't simply trying to sneak in and grab some stones. They were executing a military-grade operation against one of the most secure facilities in the world. Another fascinating aspect was their adaptability. Plans alone don't guarantee success. Real-life variables can throw even the best strategies off track. The team prepared contingencies, mapping out multiple escape routes, communication signals, and backup plans in case of unexpected events. Their preparation bordered on obsessive, and that obsession would prove crucial when the night of the heist arrived. In the next part, we'll dive into the tools, tactics, and reconnaissance that turned months of planning into a reality. From cutting-edge equipment to insider knowledge, the thieves had everything they needed to execute what would become the largest diamond heist in history. By the time the Antwerp Diamond Heist was ready to be executed, months of surveillance and planning had transformed into a detailed playbook. The thieves didn't rely on improvisation, they relied on preparation, turning their reconnaissance into actionable strategies that left virtually no room for error. Every tool, every maneuver, and every second was calculated to perfection. First, consider the tools. This wasn't a simple smash-and-grab operation. It was a high-precision infiltration. The team used advanced lock-picking devices to bypass complex vault mechanisms and sophisticated electronic equipment to manipulate alarm systems. Even the most high-tech surveillance cameras could be temporarily blinded by clever improvisation, allowing them to move undetected. Each tool was selected not for its flashiness but for its effectiveness because in a heist of this scale, failure was not an option. Reconnaissance played an equally crucial role. The thieves weren't merely walking around the diamond center, they were mapping every detail. They memorized guard patterns, learned when security shifts changed, and identified blind spots in camera coverage. They even noted the sound of the vault doors, understanding how long it took to open each lock, and which areas had motion sensors sensitive to vibrations. This level of detail was staggering, but it made the difference between discovery and success. Timing was another critical factor. Every movement had to be synchronized to the second. The thieves planned not only how to get in but also how long they could remain inside without triggering alarms, how to move between rooms, and how to exit efficiently. Each action was rehearsed mentally, a choreography of precision that minimized risk. Their planning extended beyond the building, too. They prepared getaway routes, safe houses, and contingency plans for every imaginable scenario. What makes this heist extraordinary isn't just the money or the diamonds. It's the combination of human intelligence and technical skill. The thieves weren't relying on chance or luck. They were executing a strategy honed over months, where every detail was anticipated, and every challenge was addressed before it even arose. It was the meticulous preparation, the calculated risks, and the flawless execution of strategy that would ultimately make the Antwerp Diamond Heist one of the most legendary crimes in history. In the next chapter, we'll shift to the night of the heist itself, walking through the step-by-step execution, the surprises the thieves encountered, and how they managed to pull off an escape that left the world in shock. The night of February 15, 2003, began like any other in Antwerp, with city streets dimly lit and the Diamond Center standing quietly at the heart of the city. But inside the minds of the thieves, every second was a countdown to history. Months of planning were about to be put to the ultimate test. The stakes couldn't have been higher. 100 million worth of diamonds lay behind fortified doors, guarded by cutting-edge security, and even the smallest misstep could turn triumph into disaster. The team approached the Diamond Center with the calm precision of professionals. They weren't masked marauders rushing blindly in. They were methodical, moving according to a schedule that had been rehearsed repeatedly. Using blueprints and detailed surveillance notes, they bypassed outer alarms and secured entry through service points that most employees rarely used. Their presence went unnoticed, as every camera blind spot and guard rotation had been memorized. Inside, the challenge intensified. The vault doors weren't just heavy, they were state-of-the-art, designed to withstand both brute force and clever tampering. But the thieves were prepared. The safecracker of the team worked quietly, manipulating the complex lock mechanisms with patience and skill honed over years. Each turn of the dial, each subtle adjustment, was executed with precision, while the electronics expert ensured no alarm sensors were triggered. For outsiders, it would have seemed impossible, but for this team it was a calculated sequence. Even in such a meticulously planned operation, unexpected moments arose. A guard lingered longer than usual, footsteps echoed in a hallway, or a door refused to cooperate. But the team's preparation allowed them to adapt on the fly. They had backup routes, secondary tools, and contingency signals to maintain synchronization. The chaos that might have unraveled a less disciplined crew became manageable through calm, practiced efficiency. Every step brought them closer to the treasure. When the vault doors finally opened, the sight of hundreds of flawless diamonds, each one worth tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, must have been mesmerizing. But there was no time for awe. Every second counted, and their exit strategy had to be executed as flawlessly as their entry. It was the culmination of months of observation, planning, and skill, all coming together in a single, breathtaking night. In the next part, we'll explore the aftermath. How the heist was discovered, the investigation that shook the diamond world, and the immediate ripple effects that made headlines worldwide. The morning after the heist, the Diamond Center staff arrived to a scene that would stun the entire industry. Vaults that had been impenetrable just hours before were emptied. Alarm systems had not been triggered, no signs of forced entry were visible, and yet 100 million in diamonds had vanished. The discovery sent shockwaves through Antwerp and reverberated around the world, instantly making headlines. World's largest diamond heist executed in minutes. Authorities were baffled. How could a heist of such scale occur without a single gunshot fired or alarm tripped? The Antwerp police launched a full-scale investigation, but the thieves had left almost no trace. Every precaution, every detail from their meticulous planning, had been executed flawlessly. CCTV footage showed little more than shadows and brief movements, nothing that revealed identities. For law enforcement, the heist was both a nightmare and a masterclass in criminal strategy. The investigation uncovered fascinating details over time. It became clear that the thieves had exploited the human element of security. Predictable routines, guard complacency, and minor lapses that, while seemingly trivial, opened a window of opportunity. Law enforcement realized that even the most advanced security systems are vulnerable when human patterns can be anticipated and manipulated. The heist became a case study in the psychology of crime, showing how meticulous observation and timing can outperform brute force. The global impact was immediate. Diamond dealers worldwide tightened security, reevaluated their protocols, and reassessed the vulnerabilities in their own operations. Insurance companies scrambled to cover potential losses, while the public was captivated by the audacity of the crime. The heist didn't just steal diamonds, it stole a sense of security and trust in even the most heavily guarded facilities. Despite the massive manhunt and international attention, the thieves initially remained at large. Some of the diamonds were recovered, but a significant portion disappeared into the underground market, fueling speculation about buyers willing to handle such high-risk, high-value goods. The mystery surrounding their identities, methods, and the fate of the loot only added to the legend of the heist. In the next part, we'll examine the conclusion of this audacious crime, the eventual outcomes for the thieves, the recovery of stolen diamonds, and the lasting legacy of the heist on security, crime, and the diamond world itself. As the initial shock of the heist faded, authorities intensified their pursuit of the thieves. Over time, pieces of the puzzle began to emerge. Some members of the crew were eventually apprehended through a combination of surveillance, informants, and minor mistakes that even the most meticulous criminals could not entirely avoid. Yet despite arrests, a significant portion of the diamonds remained unaccounted for, vanishing into a network of black market buyers that stretched across continents. The justice meted out to the captured thieves varied. Some faced lengthy prison sentences, while others negotiated deals or disappeared, leaving investigators and the public with lingering questions. The heist itself, however, left an enduring mark beyond convictions. It became a benchmark for criminal ingenuity, often studied by law enforcement, security experts, and even academics as a lesson in how sophisticated planning and human psychology can circumvent even the most formidable security systems. The stolen diamonds that were never recovered fueled myths and speculation. Rumors circulated about elite collectors and clandestine sales, suggesting that the loot might still exist, scattered in private collections or secret vaults. This aspect of the heist has ensured its place in popular culture. It's not just a story of crime, but a story of intrigue, mystery, and audacity. The legacy of the Antwerp Diamond Heist also forced the diamond industry to rethink security entirely. Protocols were tightened, guard training became more rigorous, and technology was upgraded to anticipate human manipulation and social engineering. In essence, the heist didn't just steal diamonds, it transformed how the world protected them. Ultimately, the Antwerp Diamond Heist remains legendary because it combined brilliance, risk, and mystery. It showcased human ingenuity at its most audacious, proving that meticulous planning, timing, and teamwork can sometimes outsmart even the most secure institutions. For the world, it became more than a crime. It became a cautionary tale, a thrilling narrative of ambition and skill that continues to captivate imaginations decades later.